At this time, I'm going to call back the Derby High School football head coach, George French. And if you guys don't know, George is a 1990 graduate of Derby High School, and I believe you've been the head coach for 7 years, and he's been coaching in Derby for 9. George.
Derby's guest speaker is more than just a member of our alumni to me. He's a family friend. He's a neighborhood friend. Anthony Defala grew up on Hawkins Street when I grew up on 8th Street. So I've gotten to know Anthony for a long, long time. He is a graduate of the class of 2002 from Derby. He's played football in Derby from, I believe, 93 through his senior year. He's also a Quinnipiac graduate of 2007. He was a major in criminal justice with a minor in history, and he currently works as a sales executive at CDW. Please welcome Mr. Anthony Defala.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd first like to thank the Rotary Club for the opportunity to be here today. For 11 years, I suited up in the red and white. At that time, I probably never could imagine that it was going to shape me into the man I was today. It wasn't because I scored touchdowns or made tackles, made interceptions, or caused fumbles. It was the lessons that I learned about teamwork, pride, entitlement, and greatness. Before I drop a little knowledge on you guys, I want to let you know a little bit about who I am and why I think Coach George asked me to speak here today. I think most of the players here I came from the same background. We grew up through the Pop Warner system with the hopes of becoming the star of our high school football team. I was definitely not the star of my team. I don't even think I probably ranked in the top 25. I couldn't wait for my senior year though. I knew that we were going to have the best team out of my 4 years, and that I was going to get to go into battle on Thanksgiving Day against Shelton with some of my best friends a guy could ask for. My teammates and coaches knew I had the pride to be the best 5'5", 160-pound player I could be. The confidence they had in me and I in them has stayed with me to this day. Before you all leave high school, you all need to take some time and thank your coaches for the values that they have instilled in you. With all due respect to each and every one of you, you probably won't realize some of these values for many years after you graduate. These coaches take time away from their lives, their families, their jobs, to put in every amount of effort to put you guys in a position to be successful. So if you would please give your coaches a round of applause. Fast tracking a little bit, 9 years ago I interviewed for the current job that I have. I was asked at the time to talk about to overcome a time when I had to overcome an immovable obstacle. I was 24 years old at the time, 6 years out of high school, and I explained how I dislocated my shoulder in the Ansonia game. And my assistant coach at the time, Carmen DeCenzo, asked if I could get back in the game at fullback to lead us on what ended up being a game-winning drive. I sucked it up, I went back out there. I was the lead blocker for Coach George's younger brother, Robbie French, for an 80-yard drive that led to the game-winning touchdown. We ran the same play 6 times in a row. 68 yards, we ran the same play that led to a 12-yard touchdown. I didn't touch the ball once, but I knew I had to blow a hole open for my tailback. And as some of you guys know that suffered any shoulder injury, it's not the easiest thing to do when your shoulder just went back in the socket. Leaving that interview, I thought to myself, I just interviewed for a Fortune 500 company, and I talked about high school football. I'm like, I gotta find another job. This isn't gonna go well. So 5 hours later, I got a call from the person that I interviewed with. Not even the person from HR. He called me back and offered me the job. It wasn't because I was the best candidate, it was because I showed the most tenacity and the most heart that he's ever saw, he said. I stand here today ranking number 7 out of 230 people that share my position. I'm not saying that if you play Derby or Shelton football that you're going to be successful in your career. I'd be lying if I said that. The foundation that was formed by my coaches over the years gave me the ability to do the best I can in every situation. Fast forward that same senior year and it's November. All of a sudden all these emotions are hitting me, as they probably are you guys. I'm getting ready to suit up and take the field for my last football game of my career. At this time we hated Shelton. There was nothing but bad blood. Speaking of what Evan mentioned about spray painting the goalpost, we would drive over to the Shelton High School, and paint the rocks on the driveway red or white. Never would I have imagined that those same Shelton players years later would become some of my really good friends. The camaraderie that you guys share with your teammates in this community in the Valley stick with you a long time, and I hope you guys take advantage of that in the future. We were convinced that even though our record didn't show it, we had the talent and the pride to go in there and beat the mighty Gales. We went out there, we gave it all we got, and we put up a stellar performance, losing 39-0. I guess we left it on the field. Hopefully each of you will be able to take something positive for the words that I have to follow on my interpretation of how football aided me in my success in life. What is football? I mean, has anybody ever really looked up the definition? It's a rectangular field with goals, with the object to get the ball over the goal line. At this point, I'm sure you guys have played long enough to know that this simple objective is only accomplished when coaching, preparation, and execution come together. Going back to what I said earlier, this means in football and in life, you guys are entitled to nothing. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but once you get out of high school, things don't just come. Getting the ball over that goal line takes effort. It's the type of effort nobody can see. It's the effort that you make when nobody's watching. It's the extra hours that you've probably spent outside of practice, studying your playbook, lifting weights, running patterns. Ray Lewis said, wins and losses come a dime a dozen. Nobody could judge effort, because effort is between you and you. This statement I found to be very impactful. Ray basically said that no matter how much effort you put in, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you give everything you got and you come up short. Tomorrow night I challenge each and every one of you to look in the mirror. Ask yourself if you have the pride and self-worth to leave it all out on the field for yourself and your teammates. Win or lose, if you could do this, you'll be able to feel that euphoric feeling of greatness. Greatness is a unicorn, it's a leprechaun, it's whatever mythical creature you guys prefer. Greatness is a feeling deep inside you that can only be obtained when effort and opportunity perfectly align for a brief moment. Anybody that tells you they are great or can be great all the time is lying. I did not realize it till years later, but football is a perfect representation of this. As a lineman, you sometimes miss blocks. Running backs don't always score touchdowns every time they get a handoff. And I'm sure each quarterback has thrown a few incomplete passes. What you do on the next play is going to define who you are as a teammate, and having the pride to come back and do better the next play will help you and your team achieve that great feeling of greatness. If you only remember one thing that I have to say today, please remember this. Mediocrity is a disease that directly combats greatness. You are always, always capable of doing something better. On Thursday, all of you are going to take the field and write this year's chapter of a 106-year-old tradition. For some of you, it might be the last time you put on a helmet. To this day, I can still remember that day and leaving the field. The emotions I had, the feeling of putting everything I had on the field and still suffering loss were tough. Whether you're a Raider or a Gale, make sure you hang your head high and cherish the memories that you guys have made of the past 4 years. I'd like to leave everybody with a quote that I like from one of my, probably the greatest boxers of all time. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Thank you guys all for your time. Let's go Big Red.